Hey all y'all, I'm Robin from Holstein House, and today we're cooking beef tongue, and we're going to use it in tacos. Beef tongue is part of the offal meats, Offal. Offal is a collective term for organ meats like heart, liver, and tongue, and other non-muscular parts of the animal. Offal isn't limited to beef and may be a little different depending on the culture. We purchased a half a beef last fall, and when putting in the order for the way we wanted it butchered, I had to request the offal specifically. It's not normally part of the butchered meats because so very few people eat these parts anymore. Today I'm going to discuss the tongue, but I also have heart and liver, and if you've never seen a beef tongue in person, you really should. It is crazy. This is the tongue I'm cooking. It's roughly 2 pounds. It looks to me like the bottom of a boot, honestly, but the outer skin, which we'll remove, is very rough. And I told Mr. Holstein that I thought my fingerprints were going to be scrubbed off just getting this thing ready to cook. Now, it needs to be room temperature. You want to pat it dry with a paper towel. Use a Dutch oven or a stock pot to cook it in. The pot should be large enough to cover the tongue with about an inch of water. And in that, you're going to add a teaspoon each of onion and garlic powder, and then you're going to add a tablespoon of salt. Use medium high to high heat to quickly bring the water to boil. Then, once you have a strong rolling boil, reduce the heat to a simmer, cover, and simmer for 2 hours. You'll then remove the tongue and only allow it to cool briefly, just long enough for you to be able to handle it without burning your hands. Then we're going to take off the skin of the tongue. Now, some people are calling it the taste buds. It's not the taste buds. The taste buds are part of the skin of the tongue, but there's more skin to it. But anyway, uh, it should peel away easily while it's still hot. If you need to, you can use a little paring knife to get the little tough parts off. I didn't have much problem. I think there was a couple of spots that I needed to use a little paring knife with. I don't like to throw away food, but there's really not a whole lot you can do with the skin from the tongue. But I'd sliced it up into small pieces and fed it to my dogs, and they absolutely loved it. If you have an idea of what you can use or do with the skin of the tongue, I kind of don't think there's going to be much, but you can leave your thoughts in the comments below. And now what you see here is a beautiful, tremendously moist and lean piece of beef, and the skin from the tongue too. But if you taste it at this point, just a little pinch of it, taste it, it's going to remind you of roast beef. Trust me. And it's not tasting you back. I can promise you that too. Set aside a cup of the broth. Allow the meat to cool while you gather up the rest of the ingredients for the taco that we're going to make. Gather up your other ingredients, a teaspoon of fat. It can be any fat. It can be olive oil. It can be tallow. It can be lard. It can be Crisco, whatever you want to use. A small onion minced, 2 cloves of garlic minced, salt and pepper to taste, a half teaspoon of cumin, 3/4 teaspoons of oregano, a teaspoon of chipotle chili powder, and a cup of the tongue broth. Chop up the meat into cubes or strips or however you like to use it on your tacos. Place the fat of your choice in a pan and either heat it up or melt it, depending. I mean, if you're using olive oil, you're just going to heat it up. If you're using lard, you're going to melt it. Place the beef and the remaining ingredients in the pan and bring them to a simmer and cook until reduced to your preference. Some people like it thicker than others. While it simmers, gather your tortillas or shells and the rest of your toppings. Your toppings may include grated cheese, a slice of radish. I would have never tried radish, but it was actually pretty good here. Chopped tomato, lime juice, chopped green onion, or sour cream. Now, here I made my own tortilla and it didn't turn out very good, so it's kind of ugly, but You don't have to make your own, obviously, store-bought is just fine, but I would encourage you to try making your own if you never have. It's really easy, even though it doesn't look like it from mine. Place your beef mixture on the tortilla or in a taco shell if you want to use a taco shell. Add your toppings and serve. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you share your thoughts in the comments. Please don't be one of those people who say yuck before you ever try it. And thanks for all your likes, shares, and subscribes, and we'll see you next time.